problem being is that most of this fine weather is down to high pressure systems. And so you get an area of rain, usually from the Atlantic, trying to push its way in. And suddenly it discovers it can't go any further because high pressure is in the way. You think of the friend who won't leave the party, who just sits on the sofa and refuses to go. And that's exactly what we've seen all through the summer, these blocking areas of high pressure which stop the rain coming in. Or if rain does manage to make its way in, it literally dies out in situ.
This summer is now on course to be the country's hottest ever, according to the Met Office. Nearly 3/4 of England is now experiencing drought, and experts are warning of the widespread impact this will have on farmers, gardeners and our rivers. In the New Forest, 120 firefighters have been tackling a heathland blaze after a van caught fire on the A31 on Sunday. That's now said to be under control. Before we came on air, I spoke to Steve Wright, General Secretary of the Fire Brigades Union.
We've lost 12,000 firefighters since 2010, and that has an impact. It has an impact on how long it takes us to get to these fires and how many firefighters we can put on the ground at fires such as these, and that they are a growing risk to us. Firefighters need to we want to make sure they've got the right equipment, the right resources, the right appliances, but also the right training. I think there's lessons to be learnt from Europe and elsewhere internationally, but we need to make sure firefighters are better protected so that we can protect the communities.
You talked about how the fire brigades have lost 12,000 members. I mean, why is that? Is there a reluctance for people to take on such arduous roles?
Well, no, this happened between the years of 2010 and 2018, so the austerity years where the fire and rescue service, like many other public services, was cut. We lost 1 in 5 firefighter posts across the UK Fire and Rescue Service. That's had an impact. It means that we respond slower to operational incidents. We respond 2.5 minutes slower on average than we did in the 1990s. So you can think of a fire that is started and then grows. Ordinarily now we are getting there slower. So those fires develop, they grow, more people are put at risk because we haven't got the firefighters to deal with them. But we've had good conversations with the new Prime Minister about recruiting 5,000 more firefighters to try and put a dent in those years of austerity to make sure that we can better protect our communities. Because the issue is the demand for the fire and rescue service, whether it's wildfires, whether it's more flooding events, extreme weather events that we attend, because we have seen across London and elsewhere firefighters responding to open water incidents, rescuing people from open water because they're attending open water sites, rivers, swimming in rivers. It's firefighters that respond to those incidents as well. We are seeing the demand for the fire service increase, but our resources have remained stable since 2018 when we did lose 12,000 firefighters.
Steve Wright, General Secretary of the Fire Brigades Union. More from him later in the programme. Let's talk now to Jo Wheeler, meteorologist at Square Raindrop. Good evening to you, Jo.
Good evening.
Well, I mean, the summer on course to be the UK's hottest since records began. I mean, I don't think we needed the Met Office to tell us that, did we? I mean, it is really extraordinary just how long this heat wave has lasted.
Well, exactly. I mean, technically now we're coming up to our 5th heat wave, which is a whole new way of looking at things. Back in 1976, we had 15 consecutive days where temperatures surpassed 32 degrees Celsius. But the sunshine went on and on for weeks and weeks and weeks. Now that we have this threshold for a heat wave, which is a few degrees above a certain value in different parts of the country. We've got all sorts of areas dipping in and out of heat wave. If the threshold were a little bit lower, we might only be in the 2nd heat wave. It would just have started in May. So yes, we've seen some incredibly hot weather since May, very dry as well. Some parts of the country are in their 7th week of saying absolutely no rain whatsoever, and other southern areas have had pitifully small amounts. Now, of course, the weather doesn't cause wildfires, but it does cause the conditions that lead to them. And that drought, that level of tinder dry landscape that we see, obviously any spark that starts off a fire, is easily pushed on, even if the winds are only moderate.
Yeah,
so
the ground is just so dry, isn't it? And Jo, tell us, first of all, what we've got in store over the next few days, and if there's any prospect of any rain in the forecast in the near future.
Oh, yes, I'm looking forward to the weekend. In fact, actually, not too much in the way of rain. The problem being is that most of this fine weather is down to high pressure systems. And so you get an area of rain, usually from the Atlantic, trying to push its way in. And suddenly it discovers it can't go any further because high pressure is in the way. You think of the friend who won't leave the party, who just sits on the sofa and refuses to go. And that's exactly what we've seen all through the summer, these blocking areas of high pressure, which stop the rain coming in, or if rain does manage to make its way in, it literally dies out in situ. So come the weekend, we are going to see slightly cooler, fresher conditions, but temperatures are on the up over the next few days. And in fact, the Met Office has issued an amber weather warning for Thursday. Now, if you remember earlier in the year, I think we had some red weather warnings for heat, which were most unusual, very rarely issued. This amber one, a little notched down. But of course, once we get past June the 21st, the nights are drawing in, if you will. We're seeing less in the way of sunshine. Still, we're looking at temperatures up to around 36, 37 degrees Celsius on Thursday. And this particular heat wave is slightly different in so much as it involves more of us. Wales could see temperatures reaching 34 or 35, Scotland 29 or 30, and Northern Ireland 26 or 27 degrees Celsius. Because all the time that the south and the southeast and the east have been having these very, very high temperatures, Scotland and Northern Ireland have had none of it. They've actually been quite grey, quite cool, and seeing normal amounts of rain. In fact, last weekend, Scotland saw something like half a month's worth of rainfall all in one weekend.
And I'm sure many people listening would be just longing for a little bit of that on their gardens. We'll have to leave it there. Jo Wheeler, meteorologist at Square Raindrop. Really good to have you with us. Thank you so much.